Hello friends, David Vos here. Well, today I'm going to try something that I haven't ever done before, and this sounds really exciting, so I hope this works. Of course, I didn't bring any real tools to do this. I couldn't even find a pocket knife, and I certainly don't have a drill, so I brought a screwdriver. I'm going to make a little hole. I'm going to try and find a hickory or a walnut tree. And you've heard of maple syrup. I'm going to try to get some walnut syrup. And it's about the right time of year. It's spring. Temperature's about right. You have to get, if it's too warm, it doesn't flow. It doesn't flow out of the tree in the summertime. Too cold in the winter. So it just won't come, it won't flow. Besides, the trees don't have a lot of water in the summer, they're dried out. So the only time you can do this is in the spring or in the fall. You can use birch, I'm told. Some people say eucalyptus, other kinds of trees, walnuts. Birch is something, you can make birch syrup. There's other things we can do with it, but we'll talk about that. I want to see if I can find... There's not as many hickories and walnuts out here as there are oaks. There's some other kind of trees out here. I thought that one was for a minute, but see how the branches go straight out? They go up and make a cross like. That's a sign of an oak tree. So I'm trying to find a good sign that you found a walnut is you find walnuts on the ground. Even at the end of winter and the spring, there's still some old walnuts laying around. It's really weird when you get close to a tree that is a food tree, a food source. It's weird, the symbiosis, the symbiotic nature. It seems like, see how I'm walking through here without any brush? Because these are oak trees. But, you see these thorns, or I don't even know what those are. They look like berry bushes. But they're real thick around that tree over there. And if I look at that one, you see there's no cross beams. All the tree branches go up, straight up. And it's a good sized tree, so that looks like it could be a walnut or a hickory. They're both very similar. It's hard to tell without the leaves on the trees in the spring. But if we find some walnuts, or yeah, there's a walnut right there. Just the shell. But you see all the green, thorny bramble in there. The symbiotic nature of nature there. It's protecting that tree so that the walnuts that are around here are protected from bigger animals, so the little animals can get in there and get them, like squirrels. I think that's really neat, how nature protects itself. It's like the branches, I can't even get in there to get up to that tree because of all these. I'm going to try and find a way over there. You can tell that's a nut tree. A sweet nut, because the squirrels love them, and they're hardly a way in here. Protected all the way around the predators. Yeah, see, walnuts. There's a walnut right there. So. This is the walnut. Okay, I'll show you what I'm going to do to get the juice here. Okay. I hope you'll be able to see this. I can't tell. Okay, we're gonna drill a little hole right here, and I don't have a drill. So this is interesting. You can do this the right way, or you can do it with whatever you have if you're stranded in the forest somewhere. And what do I do with my... Here we go. So you can use a screwdriver or a, usually if you're out in the forest you'll have a pocket knife, and I don't even have a pocket knife, so we're just doing this. I don't know if this is going to even work, guys, but I'm going to try. You want to search for something that you can make a tube out of. And sometimes that's a lot easier than at other times, but I see some mushrooms, some fungus growing on this little log here. So I might try to use a piece of this. So anyway, found this stick. Now this is not going to be ideal, but I'm just seeing how simple you could do this. You're just out in the woods with you don't even have a pocket knife, and you're thirsty because you can drink this. This water tastes like sweet water. And if you had nothing and you were thirsty, could you get some water? So I didn't bring a pocket knife or anything, so I'm going to try I just busted this stick, and I'm just going to put it in there like that. And then I brought this milk jug. If you're in the wild, you'd have to, if you had a canteen or something, or if not, you'd have to get some kind of, find a plastic bag or something. You can use a hollowed out mushroom sometimes, or fungus or something. And I got this rope. Let's see if we can get that up there. Okay. So I took this rope, tied it around the tree, tied it around the handle. I don't know if you can see that. Anyway, the stick is just stuck in there, and it'll run down the stick and into the jug. And we'll come back tomorrow and see if that did anything. I noticed that this stick is already wet. So it's not flowing real fast, because sometimes they can flow out of there. They can start dripping right away, but it's not dripping. So we'll have to see. I think we're probably going to have to come back and use a pocket knife or a drill of some kind to do it better. But let's see if just this little primitive stick trick will work. Because if you can get that to work, then no matter whatever you're doing, you're in the forest and you need some water and something to drink, you can always, well, in the spring anyway, fall, you can find water that way. Boy, this is a mess to try and get out of here. it's like the world is alive. It has an ecosystem, and it has a method to keep to protect itself, keep predators away. Everything works just beautifully. Seems like a cruel system, but I guess it's kind of like human beings when we have to resort to violence to protect ourselves. You know, when we all say, well, that's okay, that's all fair in war and love. How did I get that backwards? Love and war. All fair in love and war. So, you know, they're trying to protect themselves, I guess. But it's odd that a different species is protecting another species for another species. Like the bramble is protecting the tree so that it can produce food for the squirrels. Isn't that crazy? And it's singling coyotes and predators out to keep them away. Playing favorites, I guess. So the weak get helped a little bit, and the strong have to work hard. That reminds me of a scripture in the Bible that says that every part of the body is needed. The parts of the body that's more comely aren't needed any more than the little toe, which may seem like such a small thing on your body, but you need it for balance, and you wouldn't want to be missing a toe. You know, it's very important. And actually, it's beautiful. Feet can be beautiful, but everything has a place. What does Paul say? The head cannot say to the toe, I don't have any need of thee. And the toe cannot say of the head, I have no need of thee. Everything, this Adam Kadmon, this heavenly man that we live on, it works as an entire unit. And you can see that all throughout nature. Everything protects itself. So predators, while they may be difficult at times for humans, and you might wonder, why did God make stickers, bramble, and serpents? Because I've asked that question many times. Well, maybe there's a reason for all of that. In this particular world, you know, there are higher worlds where the ecosystem is much different, much loving, much more loving. This is a lower frequency down here on this earth, even though it's beautiful. And I must say, there are people that love this frequency. You know, not everybody's ready to go on to the next higher plane, friends. Some people like it here. It's a short lifespan. You live by the seat of your pants. You live or die. You use your wit and your strength, and you survive. You use adrenaline to get through each day. But, you know, so it's good. I think we all chose to do this a few times. It's a fun experience. It's like going to the Alps to climb to the top just to see that if you can. You know, that's what the world is. It's just, we're in a lower world right now. There are much higher worlds. Places that we could go that would boggle the imagination. I sense, or I believe that there are worlds where the beings don't step on ants or harm any. They probably hover. They've developed a system where they hover over the ground so they don't harm anything. And probably a lot of beautiful colors that we don't have here. Butterflies and fluffy animals like rabbits. perhaps. I think that it's the same kind of world, only just evolved into a much more kinder, gentler place. So probably a lot of the genetics that we have here is just preliminary. You know, I really think that everything is of the same gene, but these genes have sequences and codes that activate it so that it blossoms and unfolds. I don't think our world has unfolded completely. We're at one of the shell layers, one of the layers that, like a cocoon, we're going to break out of it and go into a higher realm and fly away like a butterfly. Right now we're just a worm. I think that's what the higher realms are. They're new births, new beginnings. This is just a preliminary existence. Once we conquer this realm, we go on to the next higher realm. Oh, how beautiful it must be. I've left my body many times and have gone to worlds that I had no recognition of. They were so beautiful. I just wanted to stay there. It was so beautiful. Just unbelievable. And I would just stand there and look at it, and I'd start thinking, where is this? Lord, where is this world? And the angel took me up very high in the air above this globe, this planet that I was on, and showed me. And I looked down and I noticed that it was like the earth. It had continents and oceans. It was beautiful. It was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my life. But it wasn't Earth. It had different continents. I could pinpoint it if you showed it to me again. But it was much different than Earth, the continents. And I've been to other places like that, so I know that those beautiful places exist. The funny thing is that I've been to places where it looked like Earth, and I was shown that it wasn't Earth, it was a different planet. But the society on these places, some of these places, are almost identical to ours. They had houses and roads and cars. It was very much like ours in some of these worlds. Like they lived back in the 1970s or something. Quite amazing. But I was certain that the place that I was at wasn't in this time and space, wasn't in this world. So anyway, I'm getting back to the cabin, but we'll check on that tomorrow. We'll see how it goes.